All right, guys. So I get asked the question a lot. How do I take photos of video game systems and just games in general? And also, how do I store video games that I have listed and just my inventory and all that stuff? So I'm just going to make a quick video real quick, show you guys how I store stuff and how I take photos and all that, and this is how I run my whole eBay business. And the video games that I'm picking up in systems is all stuff that sells super quick. Excuse the mess, but this is just the reality. I'm not hiding anything from you guys. This is how I do it out of a spare room in my house. And I make over $20,000 a month selling video games. So this is how I do it. You don't need nothing fancy. You don't need a lot of fancy equipment. You guys can see I have a studio light here and another one on the side of me. Nothing fancy. Those are like 50 bucks shipped. And then I have this gray rug that I bought from some store. I don't even know. It's probably 30, 40 bucks. And that's my background. So for photos, I simply, wipe everything down, all the systems, games, and I just use any kind of wipes, Lysol wipes, clean it, disinfect it, factory reset it, make sure it's clean. Don't be one of those people that have bad photos, bad lighting, and don't factory reset your systems, and also don't, wipe it down and you're just listing it as you get it, all dusty. You don't want to do that. So simply, I would just have it like this, and I would take photos. If you have an iPhone, use square mode for your photos. That's the best. For pictures and good lighting. And then you want to just take pictures of everything, the model number, the condition, up close on the controller, on the back you can see there's a little flaw on the back on the sticker, like everything like that. You want to take as much photos as you possibly can. And if you just have video games that just aren't selling, it's simply because you just have a bunch of filler titles, which is games that just aren't desirable. So you guys can see I sell a mixture of stuff: systems, Switch games, Nintendo stuff, controllers, all these PS3, PS2 games back there. Just a variety of items. So right here, let's say this is listed. So I'm going to put it where I would store it. Don't mind the mess, guys. This is just me keeping it real with you guys. I'm not the most organized person, honestly. But you simply just put it here. And that's where I would line my systems up. And then also this is where I keep all my boxes and all that stuff. Here's all unlisted inventory I got to go through, clean it up a little bit. And then for the video games, pretty similar. So let's grab this game for example. So how I take the photos for the video games is I take everything out, of course check the disc, and I don't test every game, honestly. This you can see is really clean, so that's most likely going to work. I don't really ever have issues. If it's really scratched, I just don't list it. And that's how I would take my photos right here. So you would have the manual right there, the disc, and then you would take your photos like that. Of course, make sure it's all nice and straight. And that's pretty much it. Take front and back. And then once this is listed, it goes inside this bin right here of the listed games. And that's it. Now, it gets a little more complex if you are selling more higher end stuff. So let's say, for example, you got this game here, and say this is a rare game. Say this is like the Jetsons for NES or something, which is a couple $100 game. You're going to want to take pictures of the board, make sure it's authentic. So you're going to need one of these tools right here. Take out the screws, take pictures of the board, make sure it's authentic and all that stuff. So there's a lot more to it, but that's kind of just the simple way of how I store my inventory. I store my systems in my closet, and then I store my video games in a tub like that. And then video games have such a good sell-through rate. If you're selling the right video games, you shouldn't really have to worry about storage unless you're doing, of course, extreme amount of volume. But this is where my unlisted stuff is. I just grab 5 PS3 games, 5 PS4 games, some controllers. I'll list some of that. So I just grab a mixture of stuff, then I'll mix in video games with that, with the systems. So that's just how I do it, guys. And I'm able to, make over 20 grand a month selling video games. I know it's a mess in here, but that's just the reality of it for me. So hope you guys got something out of that. Peace out.